Minnesota and Norway, a state and country bonded together by shared heritage, climate, and the legacy of hosting the longest-running bilateral troop exchange in the history of the Department of Defense. The Norwegian Reciprocal Troop Exchange, known as NOREX, began as a simple handshake between the Norwegian Inspector General and the Chief of the National Guard in 1973. They shared best practices about each nation's training operations and equipment to improve their own organization. But at its core, this would be an opportunity for Norwegian and American troops to form bonds of friendship across the Atlantic, creating an international partnership on a personal level that would last for the next 50 years.
The first exchange, because it was so new, we were just not really knowing what we were going to expect, but we were excited to go. When we first got to the Torpelmoen for the training, the first few days was exchanging equipment for one thing. We got rid of our American uniform. We had their skis and their poles and their pants. And then we started some rifle training, shooting an AK-47 because that was the NATO weapon. And then starting to learn how to ski a little bit on some smaller hills because some of the guys had never skied before, of course.
I'm sorry, what are you doing in the snow? Taking a bath. I didn't get one this morning.
I had never skied growing up in Minnesota. So, they're like, oh, it won't be no problem. We're going to teach you how to cross-country ski. I got to tell you, it was more like downhill ski in Minnesota, being in those Norwegian mountains. I was constantly falling. We hiked across the mountains from where we were stationed at Camp Torpel to our next location. And it's a two-man team. You're carrying this 80-pound sled behind you. Learning how to ski over there was an amazing experience.
The most important thing is to learn people to live outside during the winter. It's completely doable to stay outside, although it's cold, snowy and stuff. Learn how to ski, learn how to survive in a tent, learn how to put up a tent during wintertime, learn how to dig snow caves, live in snow caves.
So this is the snow cave that we're doing. This one, there's going to be 4 man in there. It's about 5 to 6 degrees warmer in here normally, is what we were told. And then once you get a couple bodies in here, it'll go up a couple more degrees as well. So I'm really glad that I got selected to do it, because this is definitely a once in a lifetime. And coming out here skiing, I stopped several times to look back and just take a break, just to look at, the scenery, and just being able to see that and actually work with other troops has been a good experience.
This is the 12th year of the Norway-American Guard Exchange, where members of the Norwegian Home Guard have come here to Minnesota to train at Camp Ripley and to get an idea of what Minnesota is like.
The Norwegian RRF that comes to Minnesota receive for training is basically individual soldier skills. We do bring in local law enforcement to do some asymmetrical threat operations to a very limited degree.
Our path towards partnership has brought more than 8,000 troops across the Atlantic, allowing them to share their tactical and cultural experiences with one another, expanding their partnership and friendship for the next 50 years to come.
My hope for the future of NOREX is that it continues, obviously. I hope that it continues to have the same cultural component to it. The benefit that it has for sharing lessons learned between cultures is huge. The experience of working with a different military for those that eventually go off into combat is also a key thing that you can't get anywhere else. So I hope that the exchange continues and grows and gets used by other places.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that the Minnesota National Guard and the Norwegian Home Guard have built this bond and are providing you this opportunity enjoy your time because it can literally change your life.